He's an 8-time Louisiana Association of Broadcasters Award winner. And he snapped a ball through his legs.
Wait, why does your name get to go first?
Shut up.
This is Scone and T.
Can't believe that's our intro still, dude. So ridiculous. Who's oh, look, you're patting my leg.
Are you happy
now.
that I'm touching your leg?
You're doing it so, like, I can tell that it's hard for you to do and that you're trying to extend positive bonding here.
Yeah.
So, yes, thank you. This is very kind.
Touching
I
your
enjoyed
leg.
that. My creamy thighs that we
Your
talked about
creamy
just a
thighs.
couple of weeks ago.
Welcome into Scone and Tea. We are at Olive or Twist, Perkins Road in Baton Rouge. We're here every single Wednesday, 7 o'clock. You can join us live on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge Facebook page, or come hang out, get you a pour of something, and in this case, probably
look at this thing,
every
dude.
LSU fan looking to drown their sorrows after Saturday night and what transpired, which, are you over it yet, by the way?
Sunday night.
Sunday, thank you. You were very salty.
Yes.
You were completely projecting all of your piss and vinegar all over me, and I let you do it.
No.
Because despite the fact that we are forced into doing media together and are not actually friends, I do my dead level best to recognize when my fellow man is hurting and to try to lift them up. And so I was willing to. You are right in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Like it's you just right twice right in front of
Wait, I wasn't piss and vinegar, dude. What are you talking about?
You just winked at me. Don't wink at me. Hey, kid.
Well, I couldn't
Don't
handle.
wink.
I had to cut you off before you got in the correction. I said piss and vinegar, not piss and vinegar. Blah 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 blah. Anyway,
I'm so fired up about this today. By the way,
look.
little Old Carter. If you're not familiar, this is a diet. This is about a $200 retail bottle.
What?
Old Carter. Yep. So $200 bottle retail. So while we're here, though, $12 pours. This is the break-even pour. But yeah. So are you feeling better now?
Well,
are you
hold
feeling
on,
better?
because this thing looks delicious too. This is the
That's
Eagles,
the Eagle Rare Old Fashioned.
They're
That's
calling it the Eagles Rare. Yeah, it's
I'm
Eagle Rare
definitely
Old Fashioned.
getting one of those. I wouldn't
But
put
check
it.
this out. Check this out. Aphrodite bitters and Aztec chocolate bitters. That's a pretty sexy sounding drink.
That looks fantastic. So I do love old
the
fashions.
horniest old fashioned ever.
We'll talk more about the drinks in a little bit. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you're live on YouTube or on demand, smash that like button, subscribe up to the channel. If you're on Facebook, please like the page, share the post. And if you're listening, because a lot of people listen to the podcast, I've learned, please subscribe up on your favorite podcast app, Scone and Tea. We appreciate you for being there. So are you over it yet now that we're 72 hours removed from the mayhem? Are you better now?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, like the raw anger has subsided. I think, unfortunately, and that was amazing, by the way, that sip of that. I think, unfortunately,
cheers.
What has moved in, cheers to Oliver Twist. Thank you so much, Oliver Twist.
Oh, that is fantastic.
What has moved in is maybe a sobering set of adjusted expectation. And certainly, like I've been saying all week long, I am still a definite Cult of Kelly member long term. And when you look about possible improvement you can show this season, let's say there's a lot of room for it. Okay, so you can look like a better team, and you will look like a better team. That said, the way in which they made mistakes on Sunday night still remains very frustrating, and but it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, you turn the page and move on, and because it was so bad, you actually have a lot of areas against Southern now that you can focus in on.
Yeah, okay, so Brian Kelly on Wednesday was on the SEC Coaches Teleconference, talked about some of the maybe personnel changes we may see, so we'll get to that, but I like your idea of, are you getting a call from Zach Mettenberger, or was that a text?
Text.
Okay. That was interesting. I just happened, I'm not like peeping, I just happened to look down and your watch lit up, so it was that's Zach Mettenberger.
Yeah, he's probably talking some Alabama bullshit.
So, that's right, he's an analyst there, isn't there, GA or something?
Yeah.
So, okay, you said an adjusted set of reality. Let's do this. Let's do this exercise.
A sobering adjusted reality.
A sobering adjusted reality. And this is where on Sunday you got most pissed at me when we were doing Whiskey and Wine, because you're saying I would have reacted totally different to the set of circumstances. And my point to you was I had a completely different expectation, I think, than you did coming in. And here's my point. What did we think? Well, last week we were sitting here. What were you saying and what was I saying about the offensive line?
Yeah, no. It's like we said, it was the biggest question mark.
But you said last year was better than this year, and I said, no way, give me the veteran guys, and you said experience doesn't matter, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not surprised LSU's offensive line got the shit kicked out of them. Florida State's unquestioned strength was our defensive front. LSU's most giant question was the offensive line. The offensive line got the shit kicked out of them.
Yeah.
Why did LSU, talk about for months, why did LSU play Jayden Daniels? One of the primary reasons.
Because he can run.
Because he can run. And I said, Ranger said he's going to be the leading rusher because they have a shitty offensive line, and he's going to be running for his life. And I'll be damned he did. I guess my point with some of this is, look, we'll talk about a lot that look, I thought LSU would win the game.
Yeah.
So I got a lot wrong, too. But a lot of what we saw, didn't we sit here and say, end game scenario, you're lining up for a kick. Are you confident it's going in? No, look, it was blocked. I get it.
That's
I get
way
it.
different.
I get it. I don't think it's way different. I don't think it's way different because it's still the whole unit. They turn that way up.
Whoa, you turn that way up, turn that down. That is way different, dude. Fucking block again. Now that is
But
something I will push back on.
Could it have been a scenario? Could it have been a scenario where maybe even if on the first block, maybe you get a little more elevation on the kick, maybe they sped up the timing of the kick? Yes, that's actually a thing. So
that is actually a thing, but not when the guy comes to an inside gap. If it had gotten blocked off the outside, you might have something
it did
there.
the second one.
No, that was still
one.
an inside gap. The wing didn't block down inside before going to hand out. You got to allow the guy on the very edge to make a heroic effort. Like, you don't need to commit to getting them. It was just horrible blocking.
That's fair.
And the only thing I say about that is, again, if I thought kicking was going to be sketchy, it would have been the operation, the snapper, the holder, kicker, the new guys. But fucking Damon Ramos' first kick was perfect. And honestly, the field goal that was blocked looked like it was right on line and perfect. It looked like he was walking up and swinging
and he did make the PAT before the one that got blocked.
Yes,
so they did fix the error from the blocked field goal where the rusher came from the interior.
I mean,
what they
I
didn't
had an
fix
NFL special teams coach text me and Jake after the game and say that the mistakes that they were making on field goal protection should be ironed out in 7th grade. And that is true.
Do you think Mason
give you
Taylor?
An idea of how odd that is.
Do you think Mason Taylor has ever been on field goal PAT?
I mean, in high school, I don't know. It's tough. Some. Where do you go to school? Like a big school?
In Florida, I think Aquinas or something in Florida.
The only reason I ask, if you go to a small school, there's a chance you just like stay
everybody's
on
on the field.
time,
No,
right?
no, I think he went to like a good football school.
Yeah, then no.
It's like he's never done it.
Then there's a chance. But you have to evaluate guys, right? And if you're not like, if that's not showing up in your evaluation, then you took it too lax. You took it too lax.
That is completely fair. That is completely fair. I completely agree with that, and that is on coaching. I would also say, do you remember the first game you ever played at LSU? Where the first time you ever got on the field? Because you got hurt on a special teams play, didn't you? When you tore your ACL.
Well, it wasn't my first game ever.
But you were doing. But you were playing special teams.
I was only doing special teams.
Okay, only doing special teams. Do you remember the first time you were on the field?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Did you want to shit your pants, or were you cool?
No. I mean, dude, the anxiety, excitement thing is like.
So
it's a little all wrapped up into one, but you do find if you have prepared that you can just kind of almost go into a fugue state, like your kind of preparation takes over at a certain point.
I guess the point that I look at is I say, okay, if you're Mason Taylor, it's your first ever game. You look at all the circumstances, like you make the catch to get you down right there at the 3 or whatever. It's the clock, everything. You're right there. Now here's the PT.
I'm not blaming Mason Taylor. No, I don't think he's been taught right.
I agree. But maybe he was, and in that moment, he just freaking panicked and went for the outside guy.
So the only problem is every single kick, they did the same thing.
Was he the wing on every kick?
I don't think they subbed him out. They subbed Cam Wire out for Emory Jones.
Cam went out, Emory Jones went in. He was next to
Cam
Schwartz.
got blown up by 2 guys.
Cam Wire had a bad day.
Well, he had a very bad day overall.
He had a very bad day.
But Cam Wire got blown up by field goal by 2 guys, but that's, again, because he's not getting enough help from the wing, who's worrying too much about the outside. And then the next time, Cam Wire went all into one guy and let the other one free. I think that's when the kick got blocked. Then they took him out, but Emory in. And although they pulled the first extra point, it was because Florida State didn't rush it hard. And then on the fourth one, obviously they did, and it reared its ugly. It was a disaster of something that you take for granted in football because of its simplicity. But I don't want to over highlight that, dude. I don't want to over highlight that. I don't want to.
Just that play, you mean?
Well, just like I don't want to like sit here and be negative for negative sake. I think we can all accept that was just like a huge black mark on the game. It is what it is.
Okay.
It doesn't change the fact that the offensive line really struggling was way more impactful, and the other position group that we knew was the big question mark. That again, I was giving the benefit of the doubt to. The linebackers did not play well.
So you went back and watched the film?
Yes, deeply.
And like I still wouldn't tell you if I'm not going to X and O linebacker play. I never played linebacker in my life. I couldn't tell you.
I'm not saying my defensive
well
evaluation is the strongest. What I am telling you is it was just a lot of not being in the right place. Just not getting confused by the offensive movement a lot of times. And granted, look, the defensive line played well. But certainly after Mason Smith was down, there were some plays for the linebackers where it was maybe hard to get a great read on exactly what was going on. But they just looked a bit lost all night, both in run support and coverage. I mean, Mike Jones had one tackle. Like, how did your smarty Mike?
Look, there was even a play where Mike Jones, came on a blitz, had Jordan Travis in his grasp, let him get away. I mean, they had a lot of that too.
Jetpack Don about something that was pretty interesting, which is in this age of. Kind of no tackling in practice, right? You do very limited tackling. But you still get tackling on scrimmage. You can still do a lot of tackling drills, right? But you never really practice tackling a quarterback. And it's a completely different skill set. And this is not my take. Again, this was the Jetpack Don. This is a completely different skill set, though.
It was who?
The Jetpack Don. Look, don't worry about it, dude. Keep up.
Which Jetpack Don?
I mean, if you gotta ask, I can't tell you.
Well, I have to ask. If I don't know, there's bound to be other people that don't know. None of us lives in a vacuum.
The Jetpack Don, dude. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway,
so who the fuck is the Jetpack Don?
He's the Jetpack Don. I don't know how else to tell you, bro.
Jesus Christ.
But think about it. You're trying to hit a quarterback. They're a stationary target with the athleticism of a why am I blanking right now?
A gazelle.
George Travis, thank you. Like George Travis.
Oh,
yeah.
You were going with his name.
But so they're stationary target, which is unlike all tackling drills you do. It's unlike any tackling you do in a scrimmage. His quickness and ability to escape the pocket, there's an argument out there that LSU was just really kind of rusty at rushing the passer. I think I would call that a theory. I've never heard that before, but I found it interesting because even when you do sack drills, it's just a dummy holding the ball like this. It ain't moving anywhere. So I don't know. Maybe there's something to it. The bottom line is, if you are pretty much equivalent with the team, which it actually looks very much like LSU and Florida State are with one another, that Week 0 game probably does make all the difference.
I think it
a lot of difference.
I think it did. Specifically for that point. I think tackling. I mean, Brian Kelly charted. He said they missed 16 tackles.
Yeah, and a lot of those in the backfield would have killed drives.
Absolutely. I mean, that was the difference in the game where when Florida State was putting together long sustained drives, a lot of it was Jordan Travis breaking tackles, extending plays, and finding a receiver. I mean, he was very, very good. But anyway, so before we move on, go back though, because the point where we wanted to start was what's adjusted. And my point is, I don't feel like I need to adjust because
they're not going 8-4.
A lot of what I saw, I thought I'd see, but I did have them 8-4. But beating Florida State, so they lost a close game to Florida State. So I'll adjust to 7-5. Yeah. But I don't feel
the new goal is 4-4 in the SEC.
But that was what I always said was they would go 4-4 in the league, and then and they would win all 4 non-conference games. Well, they lost to Florida State, so now instead of 8-4, 7-5, I had them 4-4 in the league. I had them beating State.
Yeah, I did too.
Splitting October, and then winning one of Mississippi State, Texas A&M, and Arkansas.
I did too. All we're talking about is the weight that we placed on these takes.
Okay.
I thought it was an 8-4, but maybe I was being a touch conservative, and they could end up being really good. That's how bought in I was to the process,
they just
paying
took
immediate dividends. Well, that's good. That means somebody's getting it. I'm happy for them. But that means somebody's getting immediate dividends, right?
Old Carter's magnificent, by the way.
So whatever. Wait, what were we talking about? I thought that. God, you just distracted the hell out of me. Oh no, okay. So adjusting. I thought they would go 8-4, but I thought I was kind of like being a touch like, you know what? They're not going to be that good. You got to force yourself to be realistic. Now, if they go 4-4 in the SEC, I'm actually pretty impressed because the team that I saw would need to improve a bit. I feel like to go 4-4 in the SEC right now. And they'll have that chance with that Southern game. The Southern game becomes huge all of a sudden.
Okay, so we'll pivot then and talk a little bit about this week. It's less about what do you like them playing Southern, by the way? That's worth giving a take on there.
Yeah, I mean it's not really for me to say. I mean I didn't grow up here, so I don't have the connection. I know a lot of people do that grew up in Baton Rouge and have known the history. So I'm not probably the best to comment on it, but I mean I've lived here for a while now. And I think it's fucking cool. So you got the two schools coming together. Hell yeah.
I'll give you the pros and the cons. You're going to play these body bag games anyway. I'd rather keep that money in state.
Yeah, 100% there.
It absolutely benefits.
Didn't Kelly say he wanted to do that now?
He did. Okay. And LSU has done that, by the way.
No, yeah, no. O was really adamant about that. Miles went away from it for a while.
No, even before Ed, like when they were scheduling the non-conference games, always they rotated an in-state opponent. So if it were ULL, I mean, they played, dating back to like 06, they played ULL, 07, they played Louisiana
wanted to make
Tech.
Every one of them, and then I think Kelly said as well the other day that he wants like every small one to be a different.
Well, they can't all, because you have a lot of those scheduled in advance. Like you can't play every non-conference game against in-state schools, but they rotate one per year. So like even going back, I mentioned like 06, they played ULL, 07, they played Tulane and Tech, and y'all played Tulane and Tech in 07. Anyway, so throughout the years, they've rotated through ULM. McNeese played here.
We generally have one
Nichols played here. So anyway, and I'm cool keeping that. The problem, if there's a downside, it's that from just a tourism standpoint, like you're not filling any hotel rooms. Like, you're not getting the out-of-town people that are coming in, filling hotel rooms, going to restaurants, spending money, and all. It's just that's the downside is for the economy of the city with respect to that. But I'm sympathetic to people in hospitality and tourism, but I think there's a give and take there.
I mean, so definitely that sector, I feel like would get hit hard, but at the same time, doesn't it draw more activity than welcoming in New Mexico State or something in terms of overall economic impact?
Maybe.
I mean,
maybe.
I think you're talking about probably more people being out and about and buying from stores and restaurants.
But this is a very common argument about are you just redistributing funds that would already be spent? Like if a family has money to spend on meals and entertainment, they're spending them then, but it would spend them anyway somewhere else in town. It like economists have had this argument forever. The bottom line is,
that's fair point.
I like having. I think it's great for Southern. I think it's great financially for Southern's athletic department.
Who gives a fuck?
I just hope that the city comes together and has a great day and everybody behaves and it's just a really good time. So I think it will be
awesome.
I think it's a great day. They've sold the game out. I think you're going to have 20,000 Southern fans in Tiger Stadium, which is going to be really cool because you'll have one of these sort of smaller non-conference games that actually has a big crowd. So for all those reasons, I like it.
Coming off like what, like
86
nothing win?
86 to nothing against Florida Memorial.
I will say this, it will definitely be as well the most packed that a halftime show ever probably almost has been.
Southern's bands got to perform, right? I mean, both bands have to perform.
Yeah, no, I thought weren't they planning like a big like joint thing?
Oh, cool, they should. I don't know.
I thought I read a quote from the LSU director saying that.
Good. I haven't seen that, but good, they should. Okay, so let's talk about the game itself. So, specifically, let's start offensive line because when on the teleconference Wednesday, Brian Kelly mentioned three things that I thought were interesting. One was potential changes on the offensive line. Two was potential changes at punt returner. And then he did mention Joe Fouché. His issue was a credit transfer from Arkansas to LSU, which that actually happened to me when I transferred from Holy Cross. I had a 4-hour Spanish that LSU only credited 3 hours. So I got to my last semester, and I was about to graduate in December. It was October, and I was 1 credit hour short of graduation. Like one of the graduation counselors called me in and was like, "Hey, you're an hour short of graduating." But like when you graduate from LSU, I don't know if it was the same, but like in Manship, you had to go meet with a graduation counselor to set your course load for the final semester and sign a graduation agreement. Like you are out of here after you take these classes.
I don't know.
So we had to do that. So I went to the council. I'm like, well, what are you going to do about this? Because y'all motherfuckers are the ones who signed my fucking paper and told me I can graduate now. So dude, I ended up taking a 1-hour online typing course. And my mom, who's worked as secretary, receptionist, office, her whole career. Like, she and I went to her office, and like, she did have to work, I did have to work, just all the typing shit.
You think your mom would beat me in a words per minute contest?
A what?
A words per minute contest.
Typing?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm pretty fast.
I don't care. She would beat the shit out of you.
I can do like a hundo.
She would beat the shit out of you.
How many do you think she's pulling?
I don't know. Way more.
How many WPM is she doing, dude?
Way more than you.
Damn, dude, you're not even a good son. I know that my mom types 72 words a minute.
She's 60. What's my mom? 63, 64. She's been doing this like since she was 18. Like, she graduated high school, went right into professional work.
Thank you, Matthew.
Anyway, my point is, she would beat the shit out of you.
Look, all I know, Mama Scone, I'm not saying I'd win, but I want to know them WPM. Let me know. Hit me up.
I'll text her right now.
120, you think? That'd be impressive, dude. Wait, so offensive line personnel changes are interesting because did you see the Pro Football Focus adjusted pass grades?
No.
Adjusted pass block grades? So that's where, they grade the initial film. Then for the bigger schools, they go back, and Jake's the one who showed me this. I'm
familiar with the adjusted, but I didn't see it for this game.
They do it in depth. You're talking about everybody except for Garrett Dellinger grading in the 30s and 20s.
They sucked ass, I believe.
And then Dellinger grading as the second best center in the SEC in pass block.
He might have played well. We're focusing on 2 errant snaps, but he might have played well outside of that.
Yeah, no, he did. He did play well. He's the only one, really. You see the potential
there was
of Campbell,
second,
but you see the youth.
There was a second that...
Yeah, Jayden Daniels caught it and ran with it for the
got
first
like 8
down.
yards.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. He had the bad snaps, for sure. But besides that, you see why they accepted the risk of the bad snap, because he was actually pretty good.
Mama Scone replied.
Let's see what we talking.
She put, I don't know.
Oh, man. You want me to give her a website to go to?
Let's see. Can you beat T-Bob?
Simple and okay. I might have been a little say 95
contest. I think we have to do this contest.
So you don't make
T-Bob against Mama Scone.
Yeah, I'm down. You can do it online.
T-Bob against Mama Scone typing contest. I have all of my dollars, all of the dollars on Mama Scone. She will beat the shit out of you.
I want to be clear. Okay. I think she will. But
she will. She will whip the shit out of you.
It's kind of like if LeBron James wants to play one-on-one, you go one-on-one. You know what I'm saying, dude? You honor yourself.
How many did you do?
I think like 95.
She says she thinks it's like 120.
Ooh, I told you she was pulling 122. You only get to 120 if it's a lifetime of experience. Trust me, I fucking type.
To a second.
I type hundreds.
That's to a second.
I know, bro. I know. I type hundreds upon hundreds of words a day.
What do we have here?
I don't know. That looks delicious. And I'm at like 95 right now.
Yeah. You ain't fucking with Mama Scone, dog.
120.
She'll kill you.
Told you, bro.
Fish? Shrimp? I don't know.
Anyway.
Oh, what do you have?
Okay, so Dellinger was solid, right? Cam Wire really struggled. Will Campbell struggled.
I'm going straight Jimmy out here. Oh, these are fried shrimp. Bro.
Yeah, they look great.
With some creamy stuff.
It's like
shrimp and grits, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Campbell, you can see Campbell's potential, but he's young. And, he looked young. Do you know what I'm saying? Anthony Bradford had his moments. He really sort of struggled at the end. I felt like Bradford did, because at first I was like, why don't they move, maybe Bradford back out to right tackle? But then I don't know from what I saw at guard that I think it would be any better at right tackle. It would probably be a bit worse. I thought he looked a bit worse in space than maybe this camp snippets that I saw him in. Frazier at times was playing a little over his toes. I think he looked a little out of class at times. So I don't know, man. I get like the rest of the team. Okay, like I said, I'd be impressed to go 4-4 now. I knew the offensive line was maybe going to struggle, but because some of the success that I'd seen them have against LSU's D-line, I thought maybe they're better than I think, and they were not.
No, they were not. So how do you fix it? Because I'll tell you what I think they should do.
I think a lot of it is. Oh, well, you tell me first.
All right, well, let me ask you a question. I want to ask you a specific question of what you think is more valuable. Then I'll tell you what I think they should do. Do you think it's more important against Southern, who they will beat and beat handily, obviously, and have success regardless of who plays? Do you think it's more important to stick with that starting 5 to give them more reps, more continuity together, or change the starting 5 to a group that you think may perform better and give them an opportunity to see how that looks? What would be more valuable?
I think you kind of have to trust your evaluation and give this group another game. I think that the only other line that I would want to try out immediately, because I do like Dellinger at center. I'm not going to move Campbell from left tackle either, because, I mean, he has the most game-to-game growth potential of anyone, right? So you want to leave him out there. The only line that I would think would maybe be the old Bradford with Tremont Shorts in there rotation. Cardell Thomas played a series, by the way, in this game as well. It was kind of lost in the radar. He did okay at right guard. But so
they pulled Bradford and put in Cardell for a series?
I know they pulled yeah, I think so. I'll have to go back. I'll go back and double check.
Bradford was playing right guard for the game.
Yeah, I know.
Frazier was playing left guard and had a rough go. Number 0 from Florida State.
He looked a little physically
Number
outclassed.
0 from Florida State.
And Florida State's D-line was I should have watched the Duquesne film.
Who could have seen that coming? Florida State had a good defensive line.
I knew they were good, but I didn't know that they were that good. They did look pretty damn good. I think Florida State looked all right overall, but they looked really damn good.
Here's the good news.
You also lost your best player, by the way.
Yes,
by
you
far.
did.
Mason Smith was by far going to be the most dominant player on the field that night, and he looked like it is a market difference just visually when he is gone, and then when you see the play, and then obviously when the play is actually snapped, he was just wrecking people. So that's pretty brutal to get over as well for him, for the team, but him personally especially.
I just remember all the practices we saw, every red zone, every goal line, everything they did, he just wrecked shit. And I had a staff member tell me off the record, nobody can block Mason Smith. Like, they were having to do things like, hey, you can't participate here because we're not getting anything accomplished because you're blowing shit up. Like, he's that good and disruptive. It's a massive blow. There's no question. But Mekhi Wingo played well.
No, he did play well, but
but he's not Mason Smith. Okay, so I think they should go back to the offensive line that they used for 3 weeks in camp.
Yeah, when they had Bradford at right tackle and Tremont Shorts at right guard.
Sort of. I would keep Bradford at guard.
Okay, I agree.
Because I think he's a better guard than tackle. Miles Frazier played an entire season last year at tackle. And clearly he is not physically good enough to play guard in this league. So I would move Tremont Shorts, who's a 350-pound mauler. He is a guard. He looks like Tremont Shorts. I'm not saying he's the same player. He looks like Trey Turner. That's what he looks like in the uniform when you line him up at guard. Put him at guard, let him move bodies, move Miles Frazier to right tackle, leave Bradford at right guard, and so you have the 5 you went through 3 weeks of camp with back on the field and let them go. Because I think the question was, did you want Wire on the field? And the answer was yes. So they put Wire at right guard, right tackle. Yeah. They moved Frazier because they wanted Frazier on the field. They moved him to left guard, which is clearly not.
He's been playing left guard all camp.
No, he was playing. Shorts was playing left guard. Frazier was playing right guard, and Bradford was playing right tackle. Yes.
Oh, but he was still playing guard. Frazier
he was playing guard, but I don't think he can play guard. He's a tackle.
I know, but bro, I don't know if what I saw out of his body looked like you should want him as a tackle right now.
As a right tackle?
I don't know.
Where you can give help and with an athletic quarterback?
He probably is big. I thought he looked a little undersized.
No, he's 6'6". Frazier's 6'6".
I know.
Maybe he's 6'6". I looked it up today. He's 6'6", 323.
I don't hate it.
But the other thing, T, is he played a season of tackle a year ago.
No, I get it. Yeah, he was an All-American tackle at Florida FIU or whatever.
He was a freshman All-America because he played a lot. And how often do you see freshmen start at offensive tackles? Some of that might be by default. But my point is he's played a lot of tackle. He has not played a lot of guard. It's a different position. It's athleticism or physicality. Like, put him back at tackle where he's comfortable. Put Shorts at guard where he can maul people, and that's going to be your best alignment. That's what I think. That's your best 5. Wire comes out. Wire was brutal. He was brutal at right tackle. He was brutal in protection on the field goal. Like Wire, I hate to single out a player because I know we talk about this often. It's still college and but he's the guy that I would take out and I would say, okay, put Shorts in at left guard because the thing I know Shorts can do is get off the ball and just move bodies. Like, he may not be the most athletic, but he's a big, physical, 350-pound dude that can move bodies. That's what I would do.
I mean, yes, okay, so I'm. It makes sense, especially if you think that the wire problem.
And you had 3 weeks of those guys playing together.
In different positions, but yes. So it makes sense if you think that the wire issue is unfixable, which I could see how you arrive there.
Do you think the wire issue is fixable?
I mean, it's tough, right? He's a senior, and that was a really rough game.
Cam Wire, EA kid, local kid, I get it, been around a long time. For 3 years now, we've had these same conversations about Cam Wire. And remember last year when kid who got booted, went to Kentucky. Guy was going to be the left tackle. Got booted, went to...
Why am I blanking right now?
Why am I blanking on his name? Shit.
I don't know, dude. It's been a long week of bitching
Why am I blanking
and
on this
watching
kid's
bad
name?
football.
Dare Rosenthal.
There we go.
Rosenthal leaves.
Yeah.
Cam Wire plays left tackle for like a day. He was so bad at it, they even tried Garrett Dellinger a true freshman at left tackle, who's playing center now for 2 games last year. At left tackle. They tried Anthony Bradford at left tackle. They tried like 4 different guys at left tackle last year because Cam Wire couldn't do it. So we've waited a long time to see Cam Wire develop. It just hasn't happened. It's almost like Charles Turner. Charles Turner's now in his 4th year, and he just got beaten out by a guy who's literally never played center because he can't do it. Okay, that's fine, but my point is you're in year 4. You came here as a center. You're in year 4, and you still haven't won the job.
Yeah.
So, like, at some point, you realize it just ain't going to happen here. Like the Lloyd Cushenberry, hey, you wait till year 4, and then you're the guy for 2 years at your spot. That's atypical. The guys that like, usually by year 3, if you ain't in there, it ain't going to happen because now you've recruited 2-3 classes behind you of really talented guys. Someone's going to beat you, which has happened here with Charles Turner. Same thing with Cam Wire. He's played by default, and I would go a different direction because I don't think he can do it.
Well, and it's like, and then it's like, well, I mean, maybe Miles Frazier is worse, but I think you maybe give him the opportunity to be worse. Okay, I come around on that, sure.
We've got 319 watching live on YouTube. Thank you so much. Please smash that like button if you haven't done so yet. Facebook, we are looking at 78. So we're over 400 live viewers here on Scone and Tea. I appreciate y'all so much. Facebook, like the page, share the post. Aaron Hornsby. Nick Tarina is watching.
Oh, what's up, Nick?
Mr. Beth Tarina.
Oh, yeah.
Who said, T-Bob,
Major wrestling fan.
Beth and I found your secret hideout at Lake Bruin.
Oh, no, dude.
No.
Watch out. Did you go off the rope swing? So sick.
Chewy Gutierrez said, hey, Matt, sorry you have to work with T-Bob again.
Chewy, shut the fuck up.
He did say JK.
Okay, I'm just kidding, too.
And Paul Batt says it's been 5 minutes and the national media hasn't posted a Brian Kelly shitpost.
Who hasn't?
The national media. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, hold on. Let's get a super chat first. We got a $20 super chat.
Oh,
yeah.
Making money for Guarantee Media.
I know. This comes from Danny girl, Danny boy. No, it's Danny girl. Her name's Danny girl. Her name is Danny girl.
I get knocked down.
All of these issues were discussed at length before the game. Did we all think they drank some mystery juice and all our concerns would disappear when ball was snapped? Special teams and O-line were always a concern. Again. What y'all are failing to see is you can acknowledge that something is the weakest position on the field and maybe not understand how weak. And like I said, I was guilty of overvaluing a position that we were concerned about. And for all of the gloating that Scone is doing right now, he did choose for them to win as well.
I picked them to win 27-23.
Yeah,
I picked the game in the 20s.
Yeah, you picked the game where they covered. Okay.
And they won.
Yeah, you picked it. No, you picked the game for LSU to cover. So for all your gloating, you know.
No, I'm telling you.
I mean, I'm just saying, dude. You're acting like
but
you're
what
fucking
I'll
like this
say,
guy figured out. I had to figure it out. And it's like what? Like
no.
You knew the offensive line was going to be a little shittier. The field goal point doesn't hold any fucking merit.
The what?
The field goal point doesn't hold any merit in terms of being like, we were worried about special teams. We were worried about Damian Ramos. It wasn't fucking Damian Ramos. The point is, yes, those were concerns. But before you actually get game film to watch, it's a varying level of concern. And, well, when you can't get the ball to the best position group on your team, the wide receiver group, because you're struggling to get protection. It
helps to have a running quarterback. Who was your leading rusher in the game, by the way?
The thing is, it's just the problems that you were making were part discipline and part so fundamental that those are the sort of issues that I did not necessarily expect to see from this staff. And
I agree.
That's where the largest disappointment comes from.
I agree.
If it had been all like the O-line was, where the majority of it was just getting kind of beat, like that's one thing.
I can handle being beaten physically. Like
Yeah.
if you line up against someone who's better, okay. You tried, but they whipped your ass. Okay.
But the constant getting out schemed on 2nd and 3rd down, where they made every 2nd and 10 into a 3rd and manageable. They managed to scheme up a way. I mean, some of it was Jordan Travis eluding a rush, but a lot of that was them scheming up very good, quick-hitting routes. What were they worried about? LSU's front seven. What did they use? They used tempo from the very beginning of the game. It's a great way if you think your O-line is undermatched against a front seven. If you can keep drives going, which is a big if, but if you can, it's a great way to negate that. LSU got there at the end, and granted, even that conversation's a bit discolored because, in that last drive, they're only rushing 3. It's vastly different than what's going on at the beginning of the game. But there were still just it was just a bad combination of me being sobered by the talent, but more sobered by some of the mistakes that I felt like the coaches were making, or kind of how out-schemed they were getting by their counterparts. I mean, Mike Norvell's the play caller, right?
Yes.
He did a pretty masterful job this game in setting up Florida State, it felt like. And there were multiple times where
coaching his quarterback had been together for 3 years.
Remember how when you played like Tecmo Bowl?
All I did was ever just give the ball to Bo Jackson.
So when you play Tecmo Bowl,
sometimes Marcus
on
Allen.
The defense, if you call the right call for the offense, you get like an automatic TFL. There was like a lot of times where the offense was calling the right call for Matt House's call. Like they would be going the complete opposite way of where the blitz was coming from. And it wasn't a check or anything. It was just kind of a call-on-call situation. So, but they got better. I mean, the defense started getting stops at the end of the game. Even outside of the lucky fumble, they started getting stops. And the offense picked it up as well. So there are building blocks.
I just want to say this real quick. And we'll move on because this isn't really about Florida State. But
I mean, it kind of is. It all is until Mississippi State.
No. I mean, Florida State's team, not the game. I mean, Florida State's team.
Oh, okay, I see.
Mike Norvell's going to get fired.
Yeah, probably.
There were 2 decisions which are completely inexcusable. One is after the first muff, not kicking the field goal. The field goal makes it a touchdown lead, and you would go into half up 10-3. Okay, you're up, you're controlling the game, all that sort of stuff. Going for it on 4th down was stupid. They gave you a gift to take the points. That's 1. 2, bro, after the second muff, take a knee 3 times, kick a field goal, you're up 10.
Yeah.
Why in the fuck are you tossing the football?
I mean, even if you don't want to take a knee, you can hand it off there. You can justify that even if you don't want to take a knee.
A field goal does the job. You're up
I know.
10 and it's over.
I mean, I
you
think
bleed their timeouts, you kick a field goal, you're up 10, it's over.
The only reason why
there is no reason
to toss the ball. No, obviously.
Football.
Never toss the ball.
Whatsoever.
That was dumb.
That is Scott Frost onside kick bullshit.
That was
unbelievable.
That was as dumb as you could possibly be. But I will say that I think you should run the ball there, but just hand it off, simply because the outside chance of like a blocked field goal, insane touchdown return or something. Like, see if you can score a touchdown with a traditional lead running play.
Sure.
And even if your running back wants to just go like 2 hands and just like this and just basically hit the ground, like do that. But do not toss the ball. Obviously, don't fucking toss the ball there. I mean, look what happened.
And LSU, by the way, they could have just run up the clock. Because on the fumble, LSU got the ball back with 1:20 seconds left. They had 1 timeout. They could have run out the clock.
You could have run it down to, what, 40?
It's a 40-second clock.
Wait, but if they had ran it, wait, hold on. But LSU had a timeout left. They just got to save the timeout because they got the fumble.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm saying like LSU would have called the timeout had they not fumbled, and they've been short. And so the clock wouldn't have ran anymore. You get what I'm saying? Like, the only reason LSU still had the timeout remaining was because of the change of possession.
But at a minute 20, and you would have had 2 more plays to run 80 seconds.
No, they fumbled on third down. They fumbled on 3rd and 1. That's what I'm saying. Okay. So no, it would have been the same thing. It doesn't matter. You're right. Mike Gravel fucked up. I agree with you. I agree with you.
All right, anyway.
Prioritize a field goal, running the ball, hand it off. Don't pitch it.
Get your questions.
Obviously.
Line up your questions.
No, and that's why I say that's a little sobering, because those were 2 not good teams. I mean, no. Florida State's improved, but like Florida State would be happy to probably go like 7-6 with a bowl win this year, and that is not a bad.
The ACC kind of blows, dude.
I was very disappointed in NC State.
Yeah, they kind of blow. All right, so let's
UNC's tight though. Drake May.
Let's look ahead.
UNC gave up 40 fourth quarter points.
I know.
Won.
It was wild. By the way, Gene Chizik, stay hot, dude.
At that point, it's just UNC, right? I mean, UNC's been doing this shit. Just awful defense, blowing these crazy, like, fourth quarter leads. I feel like for the last few years, every UNC game I watched, what was it, Howell that's been there the last few years?
Sam Howell?
Yeah. It's like he would get them out of some big lead, and their defense would find just, like, fucking just blow it. Just get a torch.
Okay, so get your questions. We always wrap up with questions last 10 minutes or so. We're going to get to our Week 2 college football picks here in a second. The other thing, we want to talk about offensive line. Punt returner, would you let Malik Neighbors continue to return punts?
I mean, I don't think you can at this point, unless, let's just say this: if you choose to, you better be fucking right. Right? I mean, like, if you keep rolling with him, you better be right. But no, I would not expect that they would.
So my answer is very easy. He's done.
Yeah.
Like, you had a shot after the first one. You did it again. It's over. Yeah. It's the golf analogy. I don't care if you hit it straight 350 yards in the driving range. When you're on the course, can it go where you tell it to go?
That's fair.
You can't. As dynamic as Dante Jackson was, fast, he could not catch punts. He returned kickoffs, but they put Tre'Davious White back there in 16, and then in 17 they put DJ Chark back there because Dante Jackson couldn't feel punts. They didn't trust him to catch the ball.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors is a great receiver. He's a dynamic player. He's going to be awesome on this team. I think he's going to have a great year. He can't return punts anymore. You have to put someone back there that is going to first and most importantly catch the football. And Sage Ryan has been back there. My guess is he would be the next guy. Sevin Banks didn't even dress, but he's been one. Javen Nicholas, the freshman from St. Aug, we saw him back there as well.
Did Kelly say today that he's still going to get a shot at it?
He kind of alluded to the fact that they're still working him there. They're doing some other drills now where they're putting in different distractions. But dude, one of the things that we saw at practice was whenever they would kick a punt, they was you had to feel the punt, you had to feel the punt, you had to feel the punt, and then he would throw another ball at him. So like they would have like a jig, throw a second ball, and you had to catch the punt while a second ball was coming at you too to distract you. Like they've done drills to distract you. There's just you cannot replicate what it's like in a game. And dude, the second punt that he muffed was like a knuckleball punt. It's we talked about it last week, but catching a punt is totally different than catching a kickoff. A kickoff is end over end. A punt is a high spiral.
Yeah.
Even off it matters based on the like. I've talked to Donnie Jones about this for I've known Donnie forever.
Bag of bones.
Off a left-footed punter, the ball spirals different than off a right-footed punter. Like as a receiver, it matters. But but most people wouldn't think of that. But as a punt catcher, it matters. The spiral's different. Like how you receive it. On kickoffs, the defense is 30 yards away. On punts, they're 10 yards away. It's a totally different skill set and experience. So he got his fuck up. He fucked up again. I think he's going to be an awesome player, but he's not returning punts anymore. He shouldn't return punts anymore.
Well, I mean, look.
They may put him back there and may be awesome, but if I'm not the coach, but I wouldn't put him back there.
Yeah. Again, who would?
What would Les have done?
No. Les
would have buried him under the stadium.
100%. So would O. I mean, most 95%.
O did. That's my point. O did with Dante Jackson.
That's what I'm saying. I know. He would.
Are you going to make some picks?
Yeah, let's make some fucking picks, dude.
All right. By the way, we didn't mention this last week. Shout out your new show. Shout out Snaps.
That's right. You should listen to Snaps. So every afternoon, me and Aaron Murray talk college football on.
That's Aaron Murray and I.
Have you not caught on by this point that I say that when I do shows with you just because I know you're going to fucking grammar correct
No, normally
me?
what you do is you say the myself thing, which is also wrong, but that was just a different fuck up.
Oh, my God. That is not true at all.
That is true at all.
For
someone who reads
I don't
as
think the
much
adult,
as you do,
the adult
that was
is
intentional.
there.
For someone who reads as much as you do, you should be better at grammar.
Why? Grammar's so fucking overrated. Who does grammar anymore?
Writers.
Yeah, exactly. They have editors to do that bullshit, dude. You don't need grammar. You just fucking write. If you're a good enough writer, somebody will edit that shit for you. What do you mean? Get the hell out of here.
What about everybody on Twitter? Everybody writes every day. You love an editor.
Yeah, bro. Look at the grammar on Twitter.
That's my point.
Yeah, exactly.
So be better.
Why? No, fuck no. No, me and Aaron Murray and myself.
Aaron Murray and I
don't even know what you're talking about. That's not that you. Maybe you could find that rule in a dusty old tome somewhere that nobody gives a fuck about.
Did you say tome?
Yeah, like a dusty old tome of knowledge. Like you're gonna be like, what is this? Diagramming sentences, brackets and ellipses. I don't understand. What's a subject and a verb? I just type it and the computer puts the words into the right place.
But good grammar does extend to your enjoyment as a reader.
Yeah, that's what the fucking editors are for. Shout out to them. Thank God. Anyway, Aaron Murray, me, host show on the Volume Sports YouTube channel.
Aaron Murray and I.
It's 1 p.m. every single day, Central, 1 p.m. Central. And it's very fun. Subscribe to the pod. It's super cool. We just talk a lot of college football, obviously.
All right, fire away with your questions. Let's go.
I got a lot of questions in here.
Bama, Texas. The big question is the spread. It's up to 20.
Yeah, it's up to 20. I would still take Bama to cover.
This is Bama USC in Dallas, Bama Michigan in Dallas. Like every season opener that Bama plays those neutral sites where they just skull fuck everybody. That's what this is. I'll repeat this. 2 takeaways from media days. Number 1, no consensus on who was number 2 in either division.
Yep.
Number 2, Bama was pissed the fuck off.
Yeah,
they are going to wreck shit all year. Like, they may cover every game.
You know you can get better odds on them covering 40.5 than you can on Texas winning, which I believe.
Yeah,
obviously.
for sure. Texas isn't winning the game. But Bama, this is going to be a season for Bama like LSU in 2019 where Vegas spent the whole season chasing LSU. The public adjusted to LSU quicker than the odds makers did. And so the public kept just skull fucking Vegas every week. Because then Vegas finally, maybe by November, when it caught up, and then LSU.
They won't chase Bama as long as they did LSU, though.
I don't know. You're talking about some. My point is, there's going to be some big numbers.
No, I know.
Saban usually doesn't win 55-0 over Utah State. This team did. Like I will happily.
I just think
that was 17.
I think part of the chasing on LSU though was also the belief that LSU would trip up.
Maybe.
Like if Alabama gets hot enough, you're not going to believe they're going to fuck up.
Maybe, but that was 13.
Whatever. If
it went to 17.
If you bet Bama every single game for the past 10 years, I mean you've money.
Won. Yes,
you've made money big
okay.
time. So whatever.
So we both have them to cover.
Yeah.
What about this? Is an interesting one. South Carolina going to Arkansas.
Wait, did I write these down last week? Maybe I did. I hope I can find them somewhere. Okay, no, I don't know, actually. Sorry, what?
South Carolina
What's
at
the spread?
Arkansas, 8.
For who? It's Arkansas. South Carolina at Arkansas, 8. Bro, I'm riding with the Beamer boys. I actually think Georgia State's pretty good. I liked how they finished that game. I think it's going to be a battle. I think they can make it close. I'll go South Carolina plus 8.
I wish the game was in Columbia, but Arkansas, physical matchup last week that they had to be up for. I think there's a very natural letdown. They're also Arkansas is a very injured team right now. And then Rattler had a rough go week 1. I think week 1 to week 2 improvement matters for South Carolina. I think Arkansas is going to win because it's at home, but South Carolina is going to give them a game, and I would take the 8.
Hey, okay.
Vanderbilt hosts Wake Forest. Hartman is going to play for Wake Forest. Vandy at home, 2-0.
I know.
Could cover their season win total. They were at 2.5 was their projected win total. They could cover
What's
if they
the spread on this?
Wake 12.5.
I mean, I can't separate the memes. I'm fucking riding with the Vandy boys for sure.
With the spread or
yeah,
to win?
no, the 12.5.
Okay.
It's like crazy. I mean, I'm just saying, yeah, I'll ride with the 12.5.
Okay. Let's see. Missouri's playing Kansas State. I don't really know much at all about this Kansas State team. They're a 7.5-point favorite. I would be totally lying if I tried to give you any type of insight on this ball game.
Kansas State's 17.5-point favorite?
7.5.
Oh.
But yes, they're a home 7.5-point favorite.
Oh, fucking go Wildcats, dude.
A&M hosts App State. App State, obviously, App State had the game they had this past weekend against North Carolina. A&M, bro, if Haynes King struggles out of the gate again, you're going to see. I will make a prediction. Max Johnson is going to be the starting quarterback at A&M this year.
Aaron Murray keeps saying it on snaps.
He will be the starting quarterback. Like, Haynes King is not a good – he's just not a good player. He's not a good player, and we've seen Max Johnson start for 2 years in the SEC. Like, they're going to play Max Johnson.
You're telling me it's time for the Oathbreaker, the Turncloak, Max Johnson, to usurp the king and take his throne for himself? But, of course, I should have seen it coming from a mile away.
Okay, the one that we all really care about, Tennessee at Pittsburgh. Tennessee's a road favorite. Tennessee's a road favorite in this game. Why do you love it?
Oh, it's just like a sexy, weird matchup. Two ranked teams that are completely randomly playing each other out of the conference at a time when they're both ranked. They've both been shitty for, like a decade? And now, all of a sudden, they're both, pretty good, and they're playing each other. I heard Tennessee looked really good week one. I did not get to watch the Tennessee game.
Tennessee's going to score.
What's the spread?
6.5 Tennessee. Tennessee's going to score
6.5.
Tennessee's going to score a bajillion in this football game.
I don't feel like I was especially impressed with Pittsburgh against WVU.
Dude, I picked West Virginia. I picked West Virginia to win the game.
I did too.
I mean,
I
think you picked them with
I picked them with 7.5. I didn't play the money line.
I played both. I had a small play in the money line, big play on the spread. Won the spread. Obviously lost the money line.
I'll do Tennessee to cover, dude. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's see.
I agree. Win and cover.
What's the score? What is it on that?
6.5.
All right.
Samford plays Georgia. Who cares?
No.
Kentucky at Florida, I think, is going to be pretty fascinating. Do you want to go first? Because your boy did pick Florida to win last week.
What's the spread?
That was my one. So you nailed Georgia.
I nailed the big two. I nailed Notre Dame. And,
I had Notre Dame with the points as well. But you nailed Georgia, which I had Oregon. A lot of people had Oregon in the points.
I had Utah covering.
I actually went back and listened to the podcast from last week because I like to go back and listen. And it was almost you talking about – I'm giving you a compliment. You talking about Oregon, Georgia was like you had watched the game.
I
know, but I get it. But if you want to go back and listen to it, like you were right about Georgia – where I said you can't replace 15 players, you can't lose all that talent. Your defensive coordinator is now their head coach. Like you can't just lose all of that and just not miss a beat.
They're a dragon of the realm.
Yes,
now.
they are. So anyway, but I did nail Florida to beat Utah. Florida, Kentucky.
It's in the swamp at night, bro.
No, it's in 11. Oh, it is at night. I thought it was 11 a.m.
6 p.m.
Oh, that changes things. I thought this was 11 a.m.
What is the spread here?
Florida 6.
I ain't giving him this. There's no Chris Rodriguez, though. He's suspended.
Correct. And by the way, they had 2 running backs hurt last week. Kentucky did. They have Cavassier Smoke and then like a walk-on.
I'm actually going to choose. I hate this. I'm going to choose Florida to cover. And for a second week in a row, I think there's a chance the swamp at night and Anthony Richardson and Billy Napier all at once might shine. And it's going to be fucking awful and terrible for LSU fans to witness. Yeah, I'll go Florida to cover. Without Chris Rodriguez, if they had Chris Rodriguez, I would choose Kentucky.
The biggest part of this game is Kentucky replaces 4 starting offensive linemen from a year ago. And their left tackle was so bad last year, they're moving their left guard, who's their most experienced lineman, to left tackle. He played left tackle in the bowl game because Dare Rosenthal was a game day scratch, and he was terrible. Kentucky's offensive line is fucked in this game. I hate to say it. But
Florida's defense wasn't especially good last week. I mean, Utah's offense is good, though. Cam Rising is really good.
This is a major flashing light bulbs letdown spot for Florida. And Kentucky is very physical.
Kentucky needs this, bro.
If this were an 11 a.m. game, I would pick Kentucky to win the game outright. Like, this is going to be a clincher.
But you'll take him with a 6.
I'm
worried that Anthony Richardson's just going to... Every now and then there's a new, Jedi that announces himself. And... when I watched Anthony Richardson lop the head off of those 2 Utah defenders and then throw that lightsaber into the corner, I was a little intimidated. I'm taking Florida to cover. I hope I'm wrong. I'd fucking be happy if I was wrong here. Because I want to believe what you're saying. That it was a flash in the pan and that he's not that good.
Oh, he's that good.
His Heisman odds are better than Stetson Bennett's right now.
He's
18-1 and Bennett's 20-1.
It's so good.
He was already ranked as the 12th overall prospect on Kuiper's big board going into that game. I know they kept talking about it on the broadcast, so it's kind of eye-rolly at this point, but that's insane.
I'm going to pass.
No, you got to play it. You got to play one.
I'm going to pass.
No, just pick one. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. Just pick one. Just hop on me with Florida -6. Let's go, dude.
No. I wish Kentucky's offensive line was better because that's been such a way Mark Stoops.
You got a lot of belief in Levis, then.
Mark Stoops has built this. No, I don't actually. But Mark Stoops has built his team. I've had a lot of conversations with people who know how they built that structure, and it's pretty impressive. He's taken guys that are 3-star guys and that they look at skill set that they like. So it's okay, we see that. You're not highly rated. We'll take you, and we'll develop you in our program and make you look at Darian Kennard. I mean, look at they look at what they've been.
They call that the Ferentz protocol. Kirk Ferentz is the master of turning. No, there's been articles on it. He's the master of turning 2- and 3-stars into NFL draft picks.
Well, that's what Mark Stoops trying to do.
He's not the master at hiring his son as offensive coordinator.
By the way, can I just say that having done pregame with you for how many years did we do pregame together? 3?
Yeah.
4? Whatever it was. So much of pregame was me just clowning you for knowing nothing about college football.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? There's a lot of names to keep up with, dude.
Do you remember the Oregon State coach?
Yeah, John Smith, bro. I only know that because that came up on air this week.
Oh, nice.
And I called him Matt Smith. I missed it.
And
Matt Smith and John Smith, fucking tomato.
I think Snaps has...
that's all it is, Snaps.
The thought of being completely embarrassed on that show has forced you, or maybe it's because you work for Cowherd's Network.
No,
it's forced you to learn football. And I was I was listening, I'm like, maybe I was listening to OTB or maybe I was listening back to this show. I can't remember, but you were talking. I'm like, how the fuck
it's
does
vastly
he
different,
know?
Dude. It's vastly
I'm like,
different.
the guy who could only yell, Kleeman! I'm like, how the fuck does
he's built a hell of a program.
Know?
Kleeman.
How does he know who the running back is for
12.5, 7.5 point favorites?
I mean, I'm like, that's fucking fascinating.
No, dude. No, it's not. It's not an embarrassment thing. It's simply because I now feel that my job requirement calls for it. And before I didn't, so I didn't give a fuck, and so I didn't read around.
Fuck it, Kentucky to win. Outright.
Oh wow.
I may change my mind on Friday.
Wow.
If I change my mind on Friday, I'll tell you.
All right, let me know.
And I will actually.
I'm playing every pick we made
because I will
tonight.
bet it. I will bet that game. I promise. If I change my mind by Friday, I will screenshot the bet I actually make.
Okay.
And I will send it to you as my.
Well,
change.
I'm not going to be betting too much. I'm going to bet I'm going to bet the entire board in very small bets.
Yeah, you made your biggest bet ever last week. How did that work out for you, dickhead?
It did not work out.
All right, Central Arkansas plays Ole Miss. San Jose State plays Auburn. And then Mississippi State is at Arizona. State's going to win and cover, by the way. 10.5.
What's the spread there?
10.5. State's going to win and cover.
Was that a soundboard? Who just did that? Am I crazy? Oh, you did.
No, maybe it was her.
Was there sad trumpet in here?
It was her. She turned around and looked. It was her.
Did somebody?
It was totally her.
Did somebody make
it?
Did you make a sad trumpet noise? Like a womp, 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 womp. Did you do that?
Was that you?
I don't know, dude.
You made the sad
crazy,
trumpet.
Dude. I don't know.
Well,
dude.
you can't photobomb because the camera's right there. You'd have to walk behind us.
Yeah, look, get behind right here. Wave at the camera.
Yeah.
Who did that, dude? Was that you, Moose? Was there a soundboard?
I don't know. I heard it too.
Okay.
I totally heard it too.
It's probably like
That's
a text.
cool.
It's probably like a text from somebody.
No, I totally heard it.
Okay,
I
so
totally
Mississippi State,
Arizona, 10.5.
Arizona beat the fuck out of the Aztecs last week. Where's it in Starkville?
It's in Tucson.
Give me Arizona plus 10.5.
I went to Tucson in 2003 when LSU played there. It was so bizarre because, so first of all, the ticket looked like a cinema ticket. You know, just like the little.
Welcome to the big leagues.
Or like a 1980s college football ticket that just was a white ticket with like typewriter font that just said Arizona versus LSU, no logos or anything. Yeah. This was 2003, by the way.
Which, have you watched football film from 2003? It looks like we were alive in the 70s.
I know.
It's really depressing. But anyway, sorry.
2007 looks depressing.
I know.
Go look at Hester's runs against Florida.
I was watching Backyard Brawl highlights of like the Backyard Brawl in 07. I'm like, how the what? I was 18 at the time.
No yellow line, no yellow first down line. It's like, how did we ever get by? So 03 in Tucson. Get this. The night before, so we fly into Tucson. LSU fans go take over. Two things I'll never forget about that game. The game, I remember Devery Henderson scored a long touchdown where Matt Mock grossly underthrew a ball, and it just didn't matter because it fell right into Devery Henderson's lap, and Arizona was terrible. They fired they had John Makovic was their coach.
I don't remember. That was before I would have been following the details of stuff. I was watching broad strokes.
Arizona was awful. The night before, so Arizona, their strip of bars, their Tigerland is on campus.
Oh, nice. Cool.
And we go into it's me and two buddies who flew, and we went to the game. And we go into one of these bars, and we run into this guy who's like a soccer hooligan. All right, he's wearing a Ramones shirt, and it's like, I want to be sedated and like whatever. And he's like, hey man, what are all these people here for? Swear to God. And we go, well, we're here for the game. He goes, U of A is playing tomorrow? He thought we were talking about basketball. He had no idea. They had no concept that people would travel to a football game from Louisiana to watch U of A. So
then
the next day, the game day, they didn't even open the parking lots to be allowed onto campus to tailgate until 2 hours before kickoff. There was no tailgating.
Yeah,
you could not even park until like 2 hours before kickoff.
You know who's changed that? Whoever the Arizona head coach is.
It was Kevin Sumlin.
Who's it now? That's what I'm saying. It's somebody new, and he's changed it, okay? Arizona is back. Trust me.
You don't remember the name Ortez Jenkins, do you?
No. That sounds made up.
Jed Fish is the head coach. Ortez Jenkins was the quarterback.
I prefer his brother, Ted Trout.
I think it was 1998. Or was it? Let's
Probably
see.
could have been a little better, but I kind of like it. It's a good base.
So Ortez Jenkins was the quarterback of Arizona. They had a great year where I think they maybe came up just shy of the Rose Bowl, but he had this awesome play where he did a full-on flip
and landed it
into the end zone.
Or landed
into the end zone.
Yeah,
yes,
tight.
It was incredible. Ortez Jenkins. Oh, leap by the lake. Leap by the lake.
Oh boy,
leap by the lake. Here it is against Washington. Leap by the lake.
Oh, against Washington as well.
Leap by the lake. This was it. Ortez Jenkins, dude.
Look at this dude.
1998.
When was this? Like 2007?
1998.
I know.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Ortez Jenkins. You're going to watch
that AstroTurf. So we're watching a live play right now.
You played a game at this. This is at.
I did, but it was not.
Here you go. Ortez.
What are we looking at? Okay, just a few seconds left in the game.
Woo!
Oh, dude, that shit was so fucking tight. Oh, my God. If you're listening on podcast, do yourself a favor and just
look
X
up
out
Leap
real quick.
by the Lake.
Yeah, and Google the Leap by the Lake. That was tight. Okay, look, Matt, let's just be really quick here and answer a few of these questions.
Oh, God, it's 8:02.
I know.
Erica's going to call me and be like, why aren't you home already?
I know. I feel you, bro. So Tug gave $5 super chat earlier. Says,
okay, so they finished number 4 in the country. They won the Holiday Bowl 23-20 over Nebraska. They went 12-1 and went to the Holiday Bowl. 11-1 Holiday Bowl. How about that? Their only loss was to number 3 UCLA.
Football was weird in the 90s.
52-20. Look at that, Arizona. The Arizona Wildcats.
What a pretty sheet, Arizona. Working out.
They got blown up by number 3 UCLA.
Look, they beat the fuck out of Northeast Louisiana.
ULM. Go Northeast.
Tug gave $5. Said, could you guys tell me where we're getting 7-5 at?
Oh, God.
I'm just saying 7-5. I don't want to go game by game. I'm just saying 7-5 because a 4-4 SEC record I felt like is where this team lands. However, again, I felt like I was maybe being negative saying 4-4. Now I feel like 4-4 would be a huge positive after what I saw. I don't mean that negatively. I just mean that realistically that's where my head's at now.
Do you remember in 2017 when LSU lost to Troy and got blown up by Mississippi State, and everybody said they're not going to win a game?
Yeah.
And they went 9-3.
Yeah, but that team was. I think
they're going to win games.
They're going to win games, but that's still where 7-5. I mean, they're winning games if they go 7-5.
Yes, they're going to win games.
Oh, I think he was saying that maybe. Okay, I see what you're saying.
You know the 2020 team that they gave up 700 yards passing to Mississippi State, beat Vanderbilt, and then gave up 45 points and got pegged on a goal line stand by Missouri.
Well, that's not even.
They beat 5 SEC teams.
So I was going to say that's not even the setup. Just set it up the fact that they were 3-5 and facing down back-to-back ranked teams.
Yes.
Like that looked like a 3-7 season.
And that team won 5 SEC games.
Brian Duke.
They're going to win
Jelly.
games.
Is that my boy Jelly? Ask Scone and T. Why did the media lie about the defensive line? They didn't. The defensive line played fine, but you literally lost guys, we're talking about. I don't want to exaggerate. I don't know. Top 50 player in the country, maybe. I don't know. The best player on your team. Whatever.
Real
Smith
talk,
is the best player on your team.
Real
You can't
talk,
take him out of there.
Against Duquesne, Florida State had 3 running backs all go over 100 yards. They ran for 400 as a team. Did you look at Florida State?
They averaged 3.5 yards a carry this game.
Did you look
Florida
at
State did.
Toafili had 4 carries for 9 yards.
Yeah.
Benson had 5 for 16.
Nobody went over 50.
And it was 49 for
why are we blinking? Treshaun Ward.
Treshaun
Ward went for 49.
had 16 carries for 49 yards.
No, it was 3.5 yards a carry. They
sucked.
That's
LSU's,
where
without Mason Smith, LSU's defensive line.
On top of overvaluing the O-line, what I fucked up was I hated on Jordan Travis so bad, and he made me eat my words. I said put it on his lap and he'll lose it for you, and he didn't. Why doesn't LSU run some plays under center? It can help the run game and prevent bad snaps. I don't. Run your offense.
Run your offense.
I don't give a fuck about that. Brad David asked Scone and T, why does national media hate Kelly so much? Notre Dame, his personality is abrasive early on.
But he's not been abrasive with us.
No, not with
weird.
us at all. No. It's been a noted change. And even at the end of Notre Dame, he had changed. Remember last year he was trying to make the joke about execution afterwards, stuff like. Brian Kelly's been going through his own mental transformation the last few years.
I don't understand where it comes from, but I don't know him well enough.
Well, he used to be like one of the classic asshole coaches, like a Saban.
I get it, but he may still be. He's also brand new here. But lose a couple more games and see if he becomes that again. That may be who he is. I just don't know.
See, I don't think he is anymore. What I'm saying is I think he's evolved past it. I think the modern player doesn't respond to that shit anymore. You don't even see really Saban doing that much anymore. Listen to anybody talk about Saban and Kiffin on staff now, or just talk about Saban to his staff. He now takes that out on his staff, rarely on the players. Not that he doesn't at all, but it's rare. And when Saban says it, obviously, he can do it.
Yeah.
Danny girl asked Scone and T, without any true elite running back such a weak line, do we just give up on the notion of a true run game for the season? No.
Slow down. I don't know what you just said.
Without any true elite running
Okay.
backs and such a weak O-line, do we just give up on the notion of a true run game for most of the season?
No, they were just overmatched against Florida State.
Also, look at last year.
And you got behind. You had to throw.
Well, look at last year. You wouldn't have thought you'd been able to run the ball at all after UCLA, and you ended up running the ball quite well.
They'll run the ball this weekend for over 200 yards against Southern.
Yeah. And Bill T. Baggins, that's going to I've got a stout aged in bourbon barrels from my favorite brewery. If I give it to you guys, will you feature it? But of course, Bilbo. I'm always down to try the victuals of my friends and swell my coffers and pantry.
Shut the fuck up and read a question.
I did. That was the question. Yeah, we drink.
Will we drink a beer?
Yeah.
He wants us to promote whoever the people are?
He just said feature it. Just kind of throw it on the table and pour it.
Well, I mean, that's up to them. But
yeah. I think
care.
if Oliver Twist's cool, then I'm cool with it for sure.
A stout in bourbon barrels.
I've had it. I've had plenty of them.
I used to like stouts. As I've gotten older, I can't really stomach them anymore.
I went through many years with them. Now I find it's only in the depths of winter that I really enjoy their presence.
What are you doing? Can you just read a fucking question so I can be done and go?
Oh, well, I'm afraid I have good news on that front.
Is that it? Awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button. We'll see you next week. Shout out Oliver Twist.
Happy Scone and Tea.
Awesome.